morning, Nima Salah. I think I got that. I don't know who else is on the call. And good morning, HerLens family. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Yes. So Nima Talahi, I was waiting for you to introduce you guys into the program before I talked about her. Nima Talahi is our new staff. She's our new family member on Women Radio 91.7 FM. And she started yesterday. Her first day was yesterday, and it's been such a pleasure to have her, with us. It's been great so far. And I'm hoping that we also make her feel really, really, really welcome on the program. I mean, I know that we are going to, so that's Nima Talahi. I like how you even pronounce that. Well, you live in Abuja, Susan, so you will not pronounce those names. Buki, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are we all doing? Good morning. I hope I pronounced it correctly. And I also want to greet our family. Yes, to be the reason why we're here. I mean, if our lens not kill our yeah, so they are precious, and I just want to big shout out to them. Celebrate. Thank you, for your blogging and your engaging and your listening. And of course, we need to say, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. All right, thank you.
All right. So, like I mentioned, Nimatala. I told her that I would get it. I just call her Nima because I'm just like, I can even say Nimatala. Nima, is it Nimatalahi or Nimatala?
Ni'matullah.
Ni'matullah. I'm sure that Susan is the one that'll be able to say it well. Okay, ladies, let's get into it this morning. So yes, I'm easing Nima into I'm easing Nima into what do you call it? More into like our programming. She was with me on Daily News Review this morning and yesterday, and our audience, yes, our newspaper, our Daily News Review family members have been loving her. I'm like, no compliments for me, but we love them all the same, and I love that they're making her feel welcome. I know that we're gonna do the same thing on here. All right, let's get into it this morning. The first one I'm particularly interested in. So as an aside, last week I was on Democracy Day. After work, I went to spend time with my cousins, and one of my my daughter, and I know that every parent is biased to their children, but I can tell you for free that my daughter is a star, and I seem to be the one dimming her stardom, her light, because of what we're about to talk about. So if I had 1,000 naira for every time I hear, oh, you should put Zuriel online, she should be on YouTube, she should have an Instagram page, I would have been a billionaire, not because of the 1,000 naira, but because of the money that I would have made from it. But social media, the internet scares me. I'm not even going to lie. 2 weeks ago, I saw this young actress, Darasimi Nadi. She's 14. Her mom started posting pictures and pages of men who have been propositioning her on social media. She had been warning them and they were not listening, but she now decided that, you know what, since you guys don't want to listen, I will be posting you people on social media. And that's what she did. And that's what my fear about social media or online platforms for my kids are. Now, the United Arab Emirates has announced a nationwide ban on social media use for children below the age of 15. I know that this is not Nigeria, but we've also seen how this has also affected young kids. You go out and you see kids as low as 8, 10 having phones, and then the ones with devices, their heads are no longer on their phone. Nobody's having conversation with each other anymore. Everybody is on their phones or their devices, especially for kids. So the UAE has said, you know what, no more social media use for kids under the age of 15, and they've imposed restrictions and penalties, right, for them. So I'm going to start off with my nation builder, Buki. What say you? Is this something that we should bring to Nigeria as well? Because even adults don't even know how to use. We talked about cyberbullying maybe in the month of May, April, May, shortly after Alex Ekubo passed, of which Alex Ekubo has been buried. He was buried yesterday in Abia. It was such a sad, it was sad. Let me just leave it as that. It was really sad. But what would you say? Is this a ban that maybe the Nigerian government should also adopt because of the menace that social media is causing, or the misuse of social media in our society? Yeah, Buki. Hi, Buki. Okay, maybe not Buki. Susan, do you want to go first?
Okay, so for me, I read through that story, and it also shows the level of intentionality of the government. You know, I know that it is a two-way thing. Two-way because I love the fact that they are banning it. At least let people below 15 concentrate on what they need to concentrate on before they come to social media. But we also know that some people are content creators who create content with their families, with their children. I know of certain families, you know, who have kids even below 10 who create content with their families. So this will also affect them in some way or the other. But for me, I totally agree that social media should be banned for people. You just said it. Some people, even adults, don't know how to use social media. They just want to trend for the wrong reasons. I will post an educative post, even as an adult, it's not trending. For me, if I do mistake and open maybe one part of my sensitive body now, you will see me everywhere. You will see 1 million views. You will see this. So you find out that the younger generation are delving towards the wrong things just because they want to trend, just because they want to eat social media money. But for me, I think it's a good one, but is there a way they can also, if they can manage that, then I also think that if you are a family that's into content creation, because I'm a civil society person, I believe in monitoring and evaluation, is there
Susan, we cannot hear
a
you.
system whereby if a content creator register through this part and so monitor your content? Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yes. Not anymore, Susan.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can
so
hear you.
As I was saying, if they can set that, then I think they should also be able to have a platform for those who are content creators to register so that they can also monitor, because it's also a means of livelihood for some persons. And so you don't just cut all of that. Some people, they thrive on family content, wholesome content there. So you could also be able to checkmate that. But trust me, for me, they can do it. It's not a big deal. Nigeria have an issue with the way we run our stores. Nigeria is not even bringing to book those who troll people, those who bully people, those who stigmatize and discriminate persons with disabilities. We discussed it here on HerLens. You know, who trolled, we talked about Alex Ekubo and all he went through about 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, just because he broke up an engagement. There was nothing they did not say about this young man, you know. And look at how everywhere is about with tributes. And I keep asking, I keep writing about it and asking, the dead does not read all of these nice words. Can we keep them to ourselves? If you cannot speak well of people when they are alive, please hold it when they are past. Do not come out to say. And social media needs to be, a lot of things needs to be put in place. We need to checkmate what goes on, what comes into social media, you know, not just, I know it's a platform for making money, but hey, it's also analyze those who, so some of us, that's our way of cooling off, that's our way of breathing, that's our way of expressing ourselves. when I don't have money to go out because of the cost of transport, I can
Yeah.
confidently buy data on my phone, churn out some educative content on media. But what are the young ones learning? What things that are trending, which is something I've noticed most people want to throw that part, including the young ones. This morning I just read a story about someone who, many say, oh, he's official because he's a content. But for me, the underlying factor of what that young man does, EFCC just arrested him. And these are some of the people the younger generation are looking up to. So how are they also able, NCC and all the rest, how are they able to checkmate what comes online and what should not be? There should be a mechanism whereby things are reviewed before they are posted, not
Yeah.
just because everyone has access, everyone comes online. And our younger generation keep watching these things. We also have people who have e-learning. I thought to raise that, assignments and some things happen online. So if you are banning people below 15, what of educational stuff? That is why I said it is best to have a monitoring and evaluation mechanism in
Yeah.
place, whether you're a student, whether you're a content creator, so that you register properly. That way, everything that is done is properly regulated, not just stopping it, because people do e-learning, people learn from home, people have teachers who teach. We have teachers in Nigeria who teach people abroad. We have teachers abroad who teach students here. And all of everybody is above 15. So there are pros and there are cons around it. Let me stop there for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Susan. Buki, would you like to speak now? Okay, yes. I can see you're muted.
Hello, yes. I was actually on. I think it was just the internet.
Maybe network, yeah.
Yeah. So I had to get out and then come back again. Yeah. Thank you,
Yes.
Susan, for starting this. Absolutely, Susan is very correct.
Mm-hmm.
I want to come from the angle of what I see. Then I'll now make my own
Submission.
judgment. Yes, my own submission. Thank you. Number one, when you look at what is happening now, it's not just even in Nigeria, globally. If the countries that we think, oh, these ones are advanced, UK, they're already considering that. Even China, we know that there's a whole lot of regulations around that. But let's look at, I think, Spain, and then Australia. Then, of course, UAE. Well, yes, we know in terms of policies, they're a bit regulated. They're not
Yeah.
that open. They're not that open like we are. But then let's look at it even here in Nigeria. Look at the rising anxiety, depression, and emotional distress that these children go through. The fear of missing out. Somebody has posted, let me go there. So you find out that they're always there. And of course, in terms of cyberbullying, I think you also mentioned that, for me, when you're making your submission, exposure to harmful content,
Yeah.
too early. You cannot control it once they have that screen. And this algorithm, once you move into one, the thing just, you will not even solicit for it, but it keeps popping up, and fear of missing out. Oh, let me quickly do this, let me quickly check this, or let me quickly check this one. It's there. Then of course you now begin to have this addiction like behavior,
Mm-hmm.
towards it. When you're supposed to be resting, the next thing is want to pick up your phone. Probably the only
Yeah.
time that you are restricted is when you have to do your assignment. And if you're not careful, you probably want to quickly finish your assignment. Either you pass it or not, or
Yeah.
just go and get the phone. So you can
Yeah.
see the kind of behavior, the kind of character that we're already forming, intentionally or unintentionally. Then of course, this issue of you cannot even relate anymore. They are already relating with screens. So they do not even know how to relate with human beings. The face-to-face social development is no longer there. That's why you find out that some children do not even know courtesy because they've been interacting with devices. When it now comes to interacting with human beings, although they don't know, there's no empathy, there's no conversational skills, no emotional regulations. They just talk. right? And then of course you talked about this predator whatever thing. Before I checked what was on, I saw our dear sister Adiolu Fayemu, or what's her son
Yeah,
name now? You
yeah,
know, when she was talking about Uncle, is it Uncle Tunda, be Uncle Kule, whatever it is,
I
you
saw
know,
that too.
you understand? So if you really find out, it's somewhere along the line, that all this grooming and then fraud, identity theft, manipulation, starts with all this and many more that we all know. What's my own submission? I totally agree with it. We say in Nigeria responsibility age is 18. Yes, I know now it's coming down to about 16. Yes,
Mhm.
we can come under that and ensure that it is highly regulated. Are we saying a total ban on devices?
Mm-mm.
I would say no. They can make use of devices. That's why they have to sit down with operators and those who make devices, everyone in the value chain. How do you ensure? I know there are locks, I know there are passwords and things like that, but you also know that these children, they can break anything, they can hack anything. So if it's to have a particular device like they have for children under 5, under 6, those devices that and all you do there is just play games and things like that. If they can do that, for them, it's fine. So that because they also need to have educational content that can shape their brains and things like that. I mentioned at some point when there was a time when we were introducing interactive screens and things like that, and they talked about volcano. I mean, you could actually see how a volcano, you know, erupts, the lava and things like that. It was because they were able to watch and all that. Yeah. So in terms of devices, yes, I agree that they should continue. But when it comes to social media, talking about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all that, I think they should just ban them, and then gradually, when they begin to get responsible for their lives, right, then they can begin to have this. So I think Nigeria should sit down and begin to look at it, that what kind of children do we want to see? And if they do not think about it now, it will come back, it will haunt them. The leaders that they will have in the next 30 years, you will see that there is no content in most of them. Most of
Mm.
their content have been social media related, except those that are intentional in the bringing up of their children and possibly their environment, because the environment is very key. Environment has been conducive for learning, that the intellect, the intelligence is out. If not, everything will just be comical, will just be funny, will just be when you go on social media, there's some things that people conjure and you think is real. But meanwhile, it's not real. It's
It's
just
not.
imagination.
Yeah.
And if one has been sold to it, by the time they become young leaders, you just find out that it's just fantasy, fantasy, fantasy. No real substance. Nigeria should wake up now and say, okay, in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, what do we want our youths to be like in terms of their content?
Yeah.
Maybe then they will understand that they need to also sit back and see how to regulate, social media content for that. Yes, it's going to affect some people who make living out of it, right? Because like in UAE or whatever it is, right? You cannot share, you cannot make content, you cannot do anything. Yeah, probably they need to balance it up. Even if you want to make content, there are some lessons. I see some lessons from children that it really makes a whole lot of sense. They might just need to sit down and balance things up. What is possible? What is not possible? Right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Nima, do you want to say something with regards to this?
Okay, good morning. So I think the issue here is let's focus on the fact that the UAE is banning social media for those children, but at the same time, they can use their parents' social media to, for like for me, I said for me, sorry, Susan and Bukola mentioned that some of the children want to use the social media for educational purposes. It's very possible that they take their mom's phone, their mom sits down with them, they see some videos or some clips or some write ups or articles that they want to learn from. They use their mom's phone, they read, and they return the phone. Some of these children even use their parents' social media accounts. The difference there is just that it would be monitored because yes, their mom or their dad see whatever they do, so they can't go out of their bounds. Whatever they see, whatever they watch, whatever they read would be restricted. That's another point I feel we should note. But I actually support the idea of the ban for the children under 15, 16, because coming from the perspective of girls, we tend to bow to societal pressure a lot when our peers start talking about body image concerns. Oh, you should
Very
be a size this or a size that. You should look this way. You should use this makeup.
yeah.
You should use those products, especially teenage girls. Then we bring up anxiety issues. A girl posts a picture and she gets hits and negative comments on it and feels, oh, she gets depressed or so. So like I agree with the ban. It makes a whole lot of sense. And I think Susan was one who mentioned that you see people in their houses on their phone, they don't know how to build social interactions with people because every time in front of a screen. Just yesterday night, I was with my sisters in the room. Then I realized all of us were on our phone.
Hmm.
Three of us in the room and three of us on our phones. I was reading a novel, the other two were on social media. Then I dropped my phone and said, talk to me. Let's
Hmm.
talk. Why would three of us be together? And the next thing is, I'm on my phone, you're on your phone. No form of conversation. When we get tired of pressing the phones, we drop it and go to sleep. We wake up the next morning, repeat. It
Rinse and
takes our
repeat, rinse and
yes,
repeat.
rinse and
Yes.
repeat. It takes our focus from what we are meant to be doing every time phone, 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 phone. Then I feel this actually helps girls because we are female oriented. It helps the female child because there are lots of harassment. Even walking on the streets generally, a girl passes by and cat calls and you understand. But and on social media, at least then she can decide not to answer or tell someone in the society to stop them. But on social media, different people, different things, different comments. What does she want to do? And they would get at her. Because
Mm-hmm.
even psychologists say that there's a certain age a child can reach before you can declare that child emotionally mature. Most
Mm-hmm.
of these children just see things and leave. Some time ago, my cousin came to my house. I think she's 12 or 11, and she had a phone. I was like, what are you doing with a phone at your age? Only for me to see she was going on TikTok, posting her pictures. Then
Hmm.
people came, fine girl. Oh, you look so nice. Post one of yourself without your hijab. Then she posted, and the comments were like, "Oh, you look so good without the hijab. The hijab makes you look ugly. The hijab
Hmm.
detracts from your
Hmm.
beauty." The next day, she was going out. She didn't wear a hijab, and I'm like, "Why?"
Based on what was said to her.
That was what was said to her, and she picked it because she had access to social media.
Hmm.
So the ban makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, and I feel we should also implement it in Nigeria. But
Mm-hmm.
concerning the children who are content creators with their family, at the same time, I think the parents can own the accounts. The parents can handle the accounts
Hmm.
and register that, oh, yes, they are making known to authorities that their children create content with them, yes, but they are in charge of the account. The children
Mm-hmm.
don't have the autonomy to handle anything. Whatever needs to be done on social media would be done by the parents, even the filming of the videos and the uploading of the videos. So I feel we are good. Concerning education, there are other apps they can use to learn. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't necessarily have to be Instagram or TikTok
Mm-hmm.
or Facebook. Even YouTube now, there's YouTube Kids. They don't need to use the adult YouTube. If at all there's anything they have to see on Instagram, their parents can show it to them. They
Mm.
don't need to have their own account.
Accounts.
Thank
Well
you.
said. Well said. Well said. All right. The number to call 07000 or 0800 123 You can text, WhatsApp, or send your voice notes to 0703 or 08155 The time is 25 minutes to 10. And you're still tuned to Women Reading at 1.7 FM. This is HerLens, and the ladies of HerLens have been giving their 2 cents, their contributions on whether there is a need for a social media ban for kids below the age of 15. All right, let's just slide right into the second one this morning. This is a lengthy read, but I'm sure that if we're able to read it, I don't have to read it. This man had written an open letter saying that, look, pregnancy opened my eyes to how deeply patriarchy has failed Nigeria. And I feel like this is one of Susan's favorite topics, how Nigeria is deeply patriarchal in is it method in its operating system. And this man says that his wife got they have 4 pregnancies, different children, 3 in Nigeria, 1 abroad. And for the pregnancies in Nigeria, he was very present. However, what he noticed was that most of the women who came, he was actually the only man who used to come with his wife, and the women looked exhausted, they looked tired. By the time they went, some of them even with babies on their backs. By the time they went abroad, he realized that him thinking he was abnormal in Nigeria was actually the norm in the country they're in abroad, because what he saw was a lot of men, coming to the hospital with their wives, asking questions, carrying their bags, holding their hands, rubbing their backs, things like that. And he realized, he's like, Nigeria is deeply patriarchal. And he sounded a word of, is it warning, advice to Nigeria? No, warning that they should stop this nonsense, because the pregnancy was created by the man and the woman, which is what I think a lot of men don't realize, that it takes two, is the 2 people that came together to this. So the least you can do is to be there physically, emotionally, and physically, and support her, all through the pregnancy. He also shared a video of his wife and her pregnancy, say, Omo, how dare you think that a woman brings nothing? I'm not getting into what does a woman bring to the table here. That's another conversation. But yeah, Susan, because you're always, like, you say the same thing as I do with how deeply patriarchal Nigeria is. What are your thoughts? Hi, Susan.
Hello, Fumi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, I didn't hear the last part. I think there was network glitch.
Oh, I was just asking what your thoughts are on it. I said you shared the same mindset with that Nigeria is deeply patriarchal.
You see, Fumi, it's not just Nigeria, Africa. Let me turn on my camera so you'll be seeing my expression.
Oh boy.
Yes, thought about it, Kamilara. You see, it is not just Nigeria thing, it's an African thing. We are highly patriarchal, and it's sad to see.
Absolutely.
What the man said resonated deeply with me. I have volunteered in a health facility. I have seen men come in for deliveries. I have also seen men whose basic need for walking into that delivery room was to confirm the gender, because they were focused on a particular gender. They wanted their wives to have a particular gender.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I was discussing with my MOH at the time was, why is it not compulsory, for husbands, spouses to come in when their wives go for delivery?
Okay.
When you see the pain she goes through, trust me, the next time you will respect her. You will not only ask what she brings to the table, you will know that she is the table. I saw a video on TikTok for me. That lady, after giving birth to her child, coincidentally, it's their first child. She has been using support to breathe. She can't do anything independently. So her husband has been nursing her and nursing her baby.
Ah, yes. I've seen that video.
Thank you. So imagine that kind of situation. Mm-hmm. Some women, a lot of things happen. A lot of changes happen during childbirth. It's not too much to emotionally support your wife. It's not too much. emotionally, physically, spiritually. I pray with our clients when they are in the labor room. And imagine what it would do. One of the days, the guy lives on my street. And so he is a Muslim, I am a Christian. He was praying, I was praying. You understand? Yes.
Yeah.
He was reciting his whatever, and I was praying because I was supposed to go home before that time. I'm only a volunteer, but I stayed put until that lady gave birth, which was very, very late. So imagine all these men who form busy, because tell me, my sister just put to bed just a week ago. So I know, and he is a top management staff. But he spared that time to be with her. This is also to bring to the attention of other men out there. The least you can do is to support your wife.
Absolutely.
Be there for her. You made these babies together. I mean, some men say, no, I cannot stay in that labor room. Kiniko, I don't want to see blood.
Am I the one that wants to see blood? I don't get.
No, it is my duty as Susan to see blood. When you did it with her, you did not remember that of that. So I mean, we just have to create. Yesterday, Fumi just talked about it in every area of life, including partnership, whether it is love, whatever. Let us look at humanity first. This is your better half. This is your wife. She needs of the support. And even for those men who want her to start cooking for them, within few weeks, you're already looking to climb again. This is also a call out to you to tell you to please, please. As we talk about this, we need to address little.
Absolutely,
we can't address everything, but we also need to address these parts. Don't really tell her to start cooking, start doing.
Absolutely. Okay, Susan, we can't hear you any longer.
So that she covers.
Thank you so much. Buki, over to you. What say you? What are your thoughts on this?
All right, thank you very much. When we talk about our society being patriarchal, I totally agree. Africa generally, we picked up these things, from our ancestors, what we see them do. Back then, the women, that would do this stuff, and some would even go to farm and all that. And then some men, depending on their culture, they sit down and they don't do anything. Yeah. You can imagine when somebody is brought up in such a climb. And then of course, by the time we got a civilization, men go to work. And then of course, we also brought that value there, that after all, my mommy went to farm and delivered, and after the next day, she went back to farm.
She was going to the farm.
These are the stories we hear, and they believe that, okay, women are superpowers. They have their superpowers. They are super women. They can do everything. But let's look at it, and I will tie it to the way forward. Do I blame the men? Maybe some. I blame them because they have seen it, but they decided to turn the blind eye. And there are some that I do not blame because they do not even know. They do not know the changes that happened to a lady. Can we intentionally, even we as women, can we intentionally run these thoughts through even our boys? Let them know some things, the changes, how you feel, the heartburn, the back pain, and when the baby is even almost getting to the point where the baby wants to be delivered, the fact that you cannot even sleep well, you cannot even stand well, it's very uncomfortable and things like that. By the time they begin to understand these things and they now watch it, It's everywhere in the Nollywood and all that and all that. That hey, these things do happen. What do you do to support your wife at such period? Then of course over time we will change these things. But
Mm-hmm.
when we ladies do not say anything, you understand, we just keep mute, because we feel that, well, that is the way things are. Then the men will always have a right. Susan mentioned the fact that men should support. You also mentioned it. Even the document that the information that we read. I mean, I love the fact when he said, "Men, stop all these things. This is nonsense that you are doing. You're not there to support your wife, even if it's prayers. Immediately you find out that the woman is pregnant, you should start praying. I mean, I celebrate my husband for that. Once I announce, the man start praying, you know. Yeah, but apart from that, even the help, the emotional support.
Yeah.
To be honest, yes, I know men will have to go to work, but
Mm-hmm.
at some point, it might not be all the time. The antenatal, you go there to support.
Yeah.
You understand? I know some clinics, some private whatever, they insist at least you must be there one-on-one and things like that. But generally speaking, when a man is there and antenatal will quickly you understand? I mean, let us begin to change those perspective, those perceptions that a man is not supposed to be there. A man is supposed to be there. In fact, you go into the world together. You go into the sessions, the antenatal sessions together, because you want to know what is happening, to your wife, and even just in case you don't have the time. I mean, let's face it, some men don't have the time; they have to go to work. But when you come back, do you sit down to say, "Ah, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ lénìí o, kí ni doctor sọ lénìí o," and all that, or even begin to call, "Alpha, are you okay? Are you getting home?" Ensure he gets home. It's not
Mm-hmm.
for you to. If you have the means, why not get a ride? If you have the means, book the Uber. For her, at least let her know that you are supporting her.
Yeah.
Through this process, right? And then, of course, in terms of being present, be there in terms of being present, just be there for her. You ask her, do you need any help from me? What do you want me to do? And things like that. The reason why some of them say they don't do that is because, that is when the wife will just go into her mood, the lazy mood to say, "Oh yeah, wash my feet, wash my this, go to the market," and then they will turn them into slave. Fine. Okay, even if they turn you into slave, is it not for you to have a child? Do you know what it takes to
Mm-hmm.
have a child? I think by the time we begin to bring these things to them consciously, you know, things will change. I know some men that they said, I know some men that they said it was when they entered into the labor room and they saw the struggle between life and death, the
Mm-hmm.
blood and everything, that was when they started respecting women.
Mm-hmm.
If that will make them change, then let's go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
All what we women are just saying that just be there to support us.
I mean, it's not too
Be
hard
there.
it's
I
not
mean,
too much.
exactly. Yeah. You can imagine you are feeling uncomfortable, particularly that first trimester. Some women spit and things like that, and the
Yeah.
man will be irritated. Ocean to talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can imagine that's unfair. That's unfair. As at that
Mm-hmm.
time, even if it's irritating to you, you don't have to spill it out. It's an issue of, how can I help you so that you don't get this irritant? Is there something we can buy? Did you discuss it with your doctor? And blah blah blah. Just be there. Okay, Pele, the thing is irritating you, Pele. Don't worry. It's better for us because a baby is coming. We are growing our family. Just change the atmosphere and just be there for the women. I think with all this, particularly what I've said, that we need to be intentional in how we raise our boys, right? Because it is the boys that will become men. That's the truth. So it's what you put in them now that they should be there, to help. Particularly even when you have a boy and you are expecting. That is the time for you to begin put some things in him. Oh, please help mommy. Help this, do that. Oh, mommy is feeling this way. Yeah, mommy is uncomfortable. The chest is heavy. The baby is already, so that they can begin to imagine when they also have their own wives, they will remember these things and be there to support the wife. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Yeah.
Very well said. Very well said. Oh, we've run out of time. I think what Buki said just hit the nail on the head. Like we just want is the barest minimum. And interestingly, myself and Nima said this thing as well in the morning during the breakfast show. That look, it's just the barest minimum that we're asking for, not like it's not rocket science, it's not. But yeah, we have run out of time. Nima, do you want to say something in a minute before we go?
Okay. I think we should also talk about the fact that men control most of the healthcare decisions
Oh
when it
my,
comes to pregnancy
oh
and
my.
childbearing. And even after childbearing, you hear some men. I actually had a man say, "Ìyá òun ò lọ fún antenatal, ìyá òun ò lo oògùn òyìnbó. So kí ló dé tí ìyàwó ẹ̀ ṣe wá ní òun fẹ́ lọ fún antenatal?" And I'm like, are you for real? Like,
I'm
what do you
amazed.
mean? Then he also said midwives can do the work. You don't necessarily need to go see a gynae or a nurse or a doctor. You can give birth at home. His mother did it. And I'm like, aren't you educated in this age and time
Mm.
to control decisions? You hear them say, Agbo Mashe, the children don't need to get vaccinated. They should just take Agbo and they would be fine. And I think all this also affects. Then they say their fathers sat down, the mothers went to the farm, the mothers went to work, the mothers were pounding yam even after having children, even when they were heavily pregnant. So why shouldn't women now be able to do the same?
Nima, I'm gonna stop you there because you want to carry me to where I don't want to go. This is another conversation entirely. Susan and Buki on Wednesday, on Thursday, we had some kids come over to Women Radio for excursion, and I had from their literary and debating society, and I had asked them I'd asked them to do a debate. Boys are better than girls. Everything they said, my mouth was just getting wider and wider. But I'm just going to put a pin on it because we need to do a reorientating of mindset of our young girls, and there needs to be an overhaul, basically, of the mindset of people. We cannot, in the year of our Lord 2026, still be having these kinds of mindset. But thank you so much, ladies, for coming on the program today. Today was exceptional. Today was amazing. I do hope that you enjoy your weekend and take time to rest. See you bright and early on Monday for another edition of HerLens. And then up next is Radio Doctor. Don't go anywhere.